Hello, this is Jason, and in this video I'm going to show you some of the plot options that you have within STS-LIVE. So as you can see, I've got STS-LIVE running here. I've got one 4-channel node connected, and I have 3 gauges connected to it. I've got one rotational sensor, and I have 2 strain transducers. So I'm going to click to the plots window. Now I already ran a quick test where I introduced some tilt to the tilt gauge and some strain to the strain gauges, and these were the output of those gauges. So as you can see, they're all plotted on the left hand axis versus time on the bottom axis. So since the tilt gauge, it's in units of degrees, as we can see over here by the native units, and the strain gauges are in units of microstrain. When they're plotted on the same axis, you don't always get good readings. This red trace over here, which I can see is associated with the tilt gauge, you can see that there's been a little bit of a change, but not much. And it's not really clear on this scale of 29 to negative 1,605, how much tilt actually happened during this test. So what we can do is assign this tilt gauge to the right hand axis. So I'm going to do that by clicking on the tilt gauge in the sensors list. I'm going to hit the pencil icon, and this brings up a window that allows me to edit that trace. So from this window, I can change the color of the trace itself. So I'm going to do that just to show you how these are done. I'm also going to change the line style to a dashed line. Now what I can do is also associate that trace with the right hand axis. To do that, I click on this icon here and select the Y with it pointing to the right hand axis. And another thing I might want to do is add some points that actually indicate where the data point was taken. And STS-LIVE will interpolate between these points so you get a smooth line. But if I select the point style to be any of these and set it to a color, I will actually get the individual data points plotted on the screen. So I'm going to click the green check to select that I want to apply those settings, and I'm going to hit the save to save those settings. And now I can see that this trace here, which it looks green, but it's actually all the green dots, and there's the yellow line that's interpolated between those. If I zoom in far enough, I can see that. So I can see now that there's a dashed line underneath with the green dots for the data points. So if I go back to the section where I was actually applying some tilt to the gauge, we can see that the tilt was going between about negative 20 degrees up to 0 degrees. So it's a little bit easier to read since that's now associated with the right hand axis. I've still got the strains associated with the left hand axis, so I can see that in microstrain we've had about a 600 delta of a microstrain with this gauge, which is gauge number 4123, as indicated by the color arrows here. If I want to zoom out and see the entire test, I can hit this button down here, and it'll reset the plot window to the entire test. So this shows the entire duration of the test. And I can auto scale now the left hand axis or the right hand axis. So by auto scaling the left hand axis, the right hand axis is not affected. I can auto scale the right hand axis, and it doesn't affect the left hand axis. So that is how you would set up data traces within STS-LIVE for easy viewing with different sensor types. Now in addition to that, you can set up groups of sensors by using the group button. Please check out my other video that shows how to set up sensor groups.